guess we're going right back out. And I understand that somewhere back behind me, you'll see a banana that I don't understand. Somebody's telling me the banana is important. Felipe, what's happening out there at vMix, and why are bananas important?
I'm here with Heath Barker from vMix, and then their banana, and I have the banana here for scale. So you can tell me who is taller, but don't tell me. So I'm gonna put this banana away. That's Dan, by the way. Heath, thank you very much for being part here. I have one very important question for you. Will we ever see vMix on a Mac?
The answer is no at this stage, absolutely not. And here's the reason. The reason is that vMix is geared towards the gaming space. It is used with gaming graphics cards, particularly the NVIDIA graphics card, and the gaming space is owned by Microsoft. And so that is why we gear everything towards Microsoft. Microsoft can, Windows specifically, can harness the benefits of the graphics card in ways that Apple simply can't. And so we take advantage of that, we leverage all of that, and that is why at this point in time, we absolutely have no plans to build a version in Apple. I'm sorry.
Wow, thank you so much. With that out of the way,
Yes.
Tell me what is new with vMix. What can we do with it now that we couldn't do before?
Sure. So at the moment, in vMix 26, you now have access. You've gone from 4 mix effects. You've now got a 16 ME switcher, which pretty much to my knowledge, nobody is doing. So 16 MEs is just purely nuts. You can have 16 completely independent productions running on vMix at once. So that's pretty cool. SRT is another space that is that's like heavily growing. We're finally seeing, we've had SRT implementation for years, but now we're seeing that growth. So we're developing our technology there. So not only have we implemented better channel support for audio, we've also allowed you to bring your SRT camera feeds into vMix Replay for the very first time. So that's super exciting for those people that want to bring in cameras to a remote workstation or a remote session. So you could be running a replay from across the country with your SRT feeds, which is excited a lot of people. We've got a lot of customers that are really happy with that. So that's pretty cool. So they're 2 major features. There's plenty others.
That's amazing. Also, vMix has an option that you also bring remote participants, not through SRT, but something that was native, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So vMix Call is built into vMix. Depending on the version you purchase, you can get up to 8 callers coming in using WebRTC. That's the protocol that runs underneath the hood. Really, really simple to bring your callers in. So all you need to do is send them a link, and they open it in a browser, and they're already in your production, just like that. So it was super, super helpful during the pandemic. We helped like countless people do production where they needed to bring in people from the UK and the US and even over in our neck of the woods in Australia, bringing them all together seamlessly. So yeah, it's ended up helping a lot of people.
Now, one last question.
Yep.
GPUs are pretty expensive. They're coming down a little bit on price right now. So if I wanted to do a production with those 16 MEs,
Yes.
what type of graphics card do I need? Do I need to buy the most expensive one to do that?
Yeah, so I mean, it depends on your production and how many other inputs you have going on at once, but 16 MEs, we've managed to make it really, really efficient. So even the low-end graphics cards will work if you don't have too many inputs going. So maybe all you want to do is set up different language streams or something like that, or different language setups. So you're running one in French and one in Spanish and one in English. So there aren't that many differences, but it's still a different mix. For that sort of stuff, you could get away with something like a 1660 Ti, which is like really old and really affordable. But maybe in this day and age, like a 4070 Ti for your higher end stuff, maybe look at, for your really high end, you're looking at a 4080. Probably not a 4090 for too many productions these days, to be honest.
Well, thank you so much, Heath. Bill, do you have any questions or?
From Jesse Mills in the panel. I don't know if you hear, but Jesse, go ahead and read your question out, and maybe Felipe can hear you.
Yeah, hey Felipe, and how's it going? So just a quick question about how vMix could potentially integrate with the Zoom client. You know, currently there's a wonderful application called Zoom ISO, which a lot of us use, and you can see my Mac Minis back over there. So that's a way to bring in Zoom calls over NDI. Some other video software platforms are working on sort of native pathways to bringing in video conferencing contributors. Is that anything that could be in the pipeline for vMix, or is that at least within the realm of possibility for the platform?
Yeah, so we are working with Zoom actively now. So they've got 2 SDKs out in the world. One of them's publicly available, and a lot of companies are using that right now to do that NDI feed of every individual Zoom caller. There's a private SDK. We're talking to them about that at the moment. No promises that you're going to see that. So at the moment, your best bet is to just bring in your calls using another tool, such as, am I allowed to mention other companies? Yeah, great. So I think Bridge NDI are doing it right now, which is another company that pull all of those feeds and you just send them straight into vMix. So you could use something like that right now, and then just sort of watch this space to see if you see that come into vMix natively one day. No promises though, sorry.
Well, what's important is that you're looking into it and you're working actively with Zoom, like you said, right? Well, so Bill, I hope this is okay. Jesse, thank you so much for the question. Back to you.
Well, we had another one from Roscoe. Do we want to see if we can sneak it in here, Roscoe? Can you get another question in?
Yeah, it's just good. What kind of what affects the latency on those remote feeds?
Yeah, so I guess it depends on your connection, really. So we would say typically expect something like 200 milliseconds between sources if you've got a pretty good connection. So that's reasonably fast. But I guess it depends on how quickly you want to run it and how much money you're willing to spend on that connection. So yeah, I don't have much more to add there. Sorry.
Thank you so much, Bill.